My neighbor cut my 80-foot maple trees down, and I am heartbroken. If you haven't been following the story, please go ahead and follow me, and you can kind of keep up with what's going on, I guess, if you choose to. But so I had very tall maple trees, between a row of them between mine and my neighbor's house. I am building a house on the property that's next to my neighbor, and he got those trees cut out by my tree guy because my tree guy was already there. So after he was done cutting out all of our trees, he came back to finish off what my neighbor had done or asked for. So I met with my builder one day. He offhandedly told me, oh, hey, I don't know if you've noticed, but we ended up taking out more trees. Your neighbor had them taken out pretty much. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's not cool. Like, that's not good. And I laughed it off. Anyways, I went out there, checked it out, and I realized there were a ton of trees missing, and really big ones, really, really beautiful big trees. And there were stumps left over. So right there is my biggest issue. First of all, don't cut the trees down. That's heartbreaking and horrible, and you shouldn't have trespassed and did all that stuff. Second of all, the stumps are just there now. And on me to take care of at this point. So that's what bothers me, I guess, the most, because what's done is done. But I shouldn't have to pay to get these stumps removed. That's crazy. I should be able to mow on my side of the property. I get we don't have grass yet, but I'm just planning for the future. That's just ridiculous. I shouldn't have to have those stumps there. So first thing we did was get the property surveyed, and we had to do that because the neighbor, I assume he pulled out the stake between our properties. So the four corners of the lot were staked, and then one day I came out there and that stake was pulled between our properties. I'm like, what the hell? And I realized that he just put his septic in a couple days before, probably, or a day before or something like that, very, very soon. And he pulled that stake, and I'm like, why the fuck would my neighbor pull that stake? And I thought that was really weird. But I was like, maybe it's because the septic's too close to our property. And yeah, it's not good, but I'm not going to say anything. Whatever. I let it go. And then now I come to find out he got these trees cut out. But anyways, my builder told me about it. So I was under the impression that I was going to have to pay. Those were going to be... For some reason, I thought... The builder didn't say anything about charging us for this, right? But my brain went to okay, well, I'm not going to get charged for trees that I didn't even ask to get taken out. So that's my bad that I was just coming to that conclusion or whatever. But I went over and I talked to that neighbor, and he pretty much said that he paid. He told me he paid for them to get cut out. And he's like, well, I admit one of them's on your property, but all the rest are on mine. And I said, well, I don't know, because you pulled the fucking stake, dude. You pulled the stake between our properties. He's like, oh, no, I didn't do that. It was, well, I asked him, did you pull it? And he was like, no, I didn't do that. It must have been the guys, knocking stuff around or whatever, my guys that are building my house, even though the stake's not even close to anywhere that they are driving equipment. So, anyways, it was just a bad excuse. Obviously, I really do think he pulled it. My gut's telling me he pulled it. Who else would pull it? Why are all the other three stakes on between my property? All the other three, like I said, four corners were staked, and all three of them are there except the one between, where he doesn't want the property line to be shown. So anyways, I paid for a survey, guys, almost $700 out of my pocket. Paid for a survey to figure out if these trees were mine, because to be honest, we're all, we have, so it's the guy that's been there for a while, then me, and then a new neighbor next to me, and I'm kind of sandwiched in between the two, which I hate. That's another story in itself. I'll have to tell you guys about that later. But anyways, I'm sandwiched between the two, kind of. And, that other stake is not pulled on that guy's property. The other neighbor that didn't cut down my trees. So all three stakes are on the outer perimeter, other than the one that was gone, which were between our houses where the problem was lying, So, I just know that he pulled them. Yeah, it's fucked up. But anyways, quite a few of the trees are on my property, and I think 3 total are on his property. So there's one that's really big and it's in between our properties, and then he has 1 or 2 more that are off on his side that he got cut down. But it doesn't matter. Like, I knew the ones, I could tell where the property line was. Like, I remembered where it was. So I already knew those other trees were his anyways. But it's just bullshit that he, like, encroached onto our property and cut down our trees. Like, that's so wrong. I would never do that to somebody. And it's irreversible damage. But, okay, so there was 2 conversations. One conversation with him and me. And I kind of, if you guys want to look at my profile, I did a thing on that after I just got, like, done at his house. And then my wife just had a conversation with him, but I was, like, there, but I wasn't, like, standing with them. I was, like, hanging out with our kids on the side while him and my wife had a conversation, because me and my wife went out there to measure the stumps, to see how big they were, and he, like, comes up and starts bullshitting with my wife about all of this. And he's like, I thought this was over, like, she was being so nice to me before, and he was talking about me, and, like, of course I'm gonna be nice. Like, I told you guys, I was being nice. Like, I'm not, like, but I told him we're getting a survey. When I talked to him that first conversation, I told him, I said, we're getting a survey to figure out whose this is. And he's like, okay, well, because me and him were kind of, like, arguing a little bit back and forth, like, no, they're mine, you know what I mean? So I'm like, well, I don't know, because the stake was pulled. So anyways, I'm like, it doesn't matter. All this doesn't matter. I am literally getting a survey, and we're going to figure this shit out. He's like, well, I'll pay for half of the survey. And I'm like, no, thank you. Like, I'm going to pay for it myself. I'm going to figure it out. Like, I'm not taking any money from you. And he's like, all right, well, and then the conversation goes on and on and on. And then he's like, all right, I've told you 4 times now that I would pay for half that survey. I'm like, cool. So I don't know what he was trying to get at with that part. That was a little weird part of the story I probably shouldn't have went off on. And I'm telling you guys, I tell short stories long. So if you're still with me. After the survey, we went ahead and made a police report. The police asked us, like, what we want him to do about it. And obviously we're not going to do, like, I wasn't actually the one on the phone. My wife was. But we're not going to press charges. I don't know if that's even a thing, to be honest. I heard on TikTok that they could, get some criminal charges from this. I know nothing about that. All I know is we did a police report because, yes, my wife does want to sue. And I mean, this is hard for me because suing somebody seems so aggressive, but during the conversation with him and my wife, he pretty much said, like, I'm not taking these stumps out. It's too expensive, but, like, you can take me to small claims court. Yeah. She did not bring up court. He's like, well, you can take me to small claims for those 2, but the rest of them, nope. I'm like, so he's deciding what we can sue him for, but he's not going to pay for the stumps, but pretty much if we make him pay for them, he'll pay. So it's just fucked up, you guys. Like, it's crazy. And then he said, actually, you can't take out this one stump because it's so close to my property. It's like intertwined with this stump. And I want to keep this stump because I want to do something cool with it. Yeah. So yeah. We're going to sue him, I think. Which sucks because I'm already in a legal battle in fucking Vegas for my dad's house. After he won the lottery, he got a house in Vegas, whatever. And I'm in court over there. So, like, I was so excited to be done with fucking court, you guys. Like, and now something happens here. Part of me just wants to say, fuck it, I don't care. Like, part of me just wants to but I cannot pay for those stumps to get removed. Like, that's so wrong. Like, that's so fucking wrong. If he would have just said, well, I'll get these stumps removed and get you a couple more trees put in, cool. I'll make it right, even though you can never really make it right, but, like, try to make it right. But no, he's not an honest, good person. An honest, good person wouldn't have done that in the first place, first of all. And, yeah, I don't know. I'm pissed. Sorry, that was a long one. That's probably, a 9-minute video now. So, I guess I will leave it at that. I'm going to be doing more updates. We got the survey, the police report, and then you need, like, a tree specialist, I guess. So we're looking for a tree specialist in northern Michigan. If you guys know of one, let me know. We're calling around a little bit. Nobody really wants to get involved with this bullshit, so that's cool and that's fun. All right, I'll keep you guys updated. Have a good night.